Hey guys, we're back with Umineko no Naku Koro ni, translated meaning when the sequels cry, better known as Umineko when they cry.
E?
There you go. It's actually more of an I sound, not an E, but you know, close enough.
When they
Same
cry?
thing. Yeah, that's the new name. They changed
When
the
they
name.
cry?
Yeah.
Scrowl! Scrowl!
So we're back with Umineko. It's been, what, almost a week now? So not too long, but kind of a long time.
It's been a week?
Almost. I'll look at the last date.
Yeah, I'd say it's been like 4 or 5 days.
The last one, Umineko 15, was May 9th. Also, it's only been 4 days. Feels like it's been a month.
That's almost a week. That's half a week. Or that's just above half a week.
Yeah, you know, feels like a week. Anyway, so you've actually presented me 2 theories. One you briefly, like, hardly mentioned last time. One you just mentioned to me an hour ago.
I forgot what my last theory was because I'm just thinking about this one.
Genji and Kinzo.
Oh, Genji and Kinzo. Okay, actually, that one was like... What did you oops for?
I went try to go to the like the tips, like the characters, but I went into the Witch's Tea Party with Burncastle. Okay, so you thought Kinzo and it's Nanjo, Genji. Was that kind? How do you feel about that one now? Do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, it's there, but that's not the one that I'm thinking about, I guess.
Okay.
So, like I said, or I don't know if I said it on camera, the Genji and Nanjo theory, Genji and Kinzo theory I had was, you know, I was just taking, like, the, it's not an allegory, it's a metaphor, there you go. I was taking the metaphor of, you know, the witch and her servant, so I was like, oh, the witch is Kinzo in a dress, and the servant is Genji with a goat head on.
You don't need to take the metaphors at face value, but you shouldn't completely disregard them either. If that makes sense. Like, if they're the basis for your argument, then you're looking at it the wrong way. But if it supports your argument, then, you know, that's fair game.
Now, here's my new theory.
Yeah.
It's very small, very short, not much to it. I think it's a little baseless. But it's just, like, like half, like obviously half speculation because that's how what theory is, and also like half me just making observations.
Okay.
So I'm kind of starting to think that maybe Rosa is this mysterious Beatrice.
Do you think so? You think she's the primary culprit? And
Yes.
so
That's what I'm saying.
what would this change about the first and second Twilights, if anything? If she were the culprit, would it change anything?
If she were the culprit, that would mean that either she. So Nanjo never did any autopsies in episode 1, right?
Episode 1? No.
I don't remember Nanjo doing any autopsies. Period.
But the dead people got close enough to everyone, including Battler, that most of them could be considered dead. Like, definitely dead. Like, I mean, if you're looking at somebody's cold corpse, well, warm corpse with like a stake in their forehead, they're dead. You know? You don't need a doctor to autopsy that. I can't think of any autopsies that he did, though.
No,
Oh, actually,
right.
he did do one on Kanon.
Okay,
I
so
think.
I guess with the like fake red truth you gave me a long time ago, back in October.
Oh, I forgot about that. Trying to bait you into reading Umineko with the free red truth.
You said that all the corpses that I saw in episode 1 belong to the person they're identified as.
Yes.
So that would mean that Rosa would have been dead in episode 1.
Okay, so I'm not saying I proved or disproved this, because I actually played a very cruel trick on you. I'm not saying this to support your Rosa theory, although that does make it a bit more fun. What is a corpse?
It's like a cadaver. It's a dead person, right?
I mean, so what if Rosa was just kind of lying there, somehow not dead? She wouldn't be a corpse. I intentionally gave you an incredibly cruel red truth. I've been waiting to come to light with that for a while now.
Well, a corpse is a dead person, though.
Yeah, well, what if she wasn't dead? She wouldn't be a corpse.
But it said that all the corpses that you saw in episode... Oh, I see.
But I'm not saying that's important.
I didn't think about that. Okay, so that does support my theory, though.
I was, acclimating you to the cruel games of Umineko.
Acclimating me?
Yeah.
Please tell me you haven't been saying acclimate.
Wait, what? No. No, I'm talking about climate change.
Okay. Well, I'd still be acclimating. But, anyways, back to the theories. So, just a couple things I noticed is, like you said earlier, one, Maria calls Rosa the good witch when she's, well, I don't know.
I think she does. I think she does. I want to say she does.
Anyways, but, like, I know for sure that without looking back, I know that Maria called
her the
Rosa
bad witch. Or the
bad
black
witch.
One of those.
One of those two things when she was, like, mercilessly beating her.
Yes. I think that happened in episode 1 as well. But also, to poke a hole in your theory, you don't remember a lot of episode 1. So, but Rosa's death, like, well, death, we're gonna call it a death because she died. Anyway, lots of people saw her and were within feet of her.
Of Rosa?
Yes. You remember the shed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe her body was near the front, if I remember correctly. And she was just kind of visible by everyone.
There are several ways that you could fake your death, though.
That's true.
But if she had been planning on doing this for a while, then...
Name one.
So I don't know... So I play a lot of Metal Gear.
I haven't.
So I don't know if this is... I don't know if this is actually physically possible, but...
Oh, I'm gonna save you a lot of time. Like, I think this is what you're trying to go for. Like, in Romeo and Juliet, like the fake death drug or something like that.
Yeah, sure, why not?
That goes against one of Nox's commandments, if we're assuming Nox's commandments apply to Umineko. No hitherto undiscovered poisons or something like that. Which, if we assume Nox's commandments apply, that utterly breaks one, because there's no mention of anything like that. That's the fourth commandment.
Then say it if you can, Nicholas.
Then do what?
Say it if you can, Nicholas. Repeat it.
In your head?
There were no drugs involved in Rosa's... sorry. Rosa... No. That'd be too easy. That would literally just be you saying, no, it didn't happen. That's not a fair red truth. That works against the witch.
I've been really leaning in on you, so I'm careful about what hints I want to give you. Because I've given you a ton of hints. I've tried to lay down on them ever since the Twilight started. But, for the sake of supporting Nox's commandments, I will say this. In the first Twilight? Well, no, I don't want to say that. Because, like, it doesn't go against anything. But I think there would be people that would get mad if I said that. I can't explain it to you without...
The entire time you've been talking about this, I've just been holding up a stack of papers and smacking it like being excited. Yeah.
I'm gonna hold back on that one. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
Red truth denied.
I'll put away the papers now.
You have a red pen out to might call the red truth, I say. Okay, so
I'm listening to Pursuit as
there was one thing I wanted to talk about briefly before we go on to the episode. We're almost 10 minutes in now, so let's keep this couple minutes. I've been re-listening to there was this site called Rockinjima. It's like an Umineko community I believe it was created around the time Higurashi was released on Steam.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
It was a site called Yakinjima. It was like a forum.
Mm-hmm.
It was created around the time episode 1 of Higurashi came out on Steam. So like 2015, I think. It was created basically to discuss about Higurashi and Umineko without spoilers. So like somebody who read episode 2 could talk about episode 2 to other people before they read up to episode 2. They actually made a podcast that I've been listening to. I'm wondering, are you interested in hearing other people's thoughts on Umineko? Because I don't want you to, because you have so many hints you could actually get reasoning out with other people's reasoning. But I just want your thoughts on that.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Are you interested in the thoughts of other people who, at the same stage that you're at? Like, Umineko usually...
I mean, it'd be interesting, but if you think that I could literally just, like, read and be like, oh, okay, I know who it is now.
I think that's possible. Or you'd be completely misled by someone. One of those.
Because it's so weird, because I feel like I'm on the cusp. There's something here. My Rosa theory's gotta be the one. Because I'm like, wait.
Well, then, huge hole in it. How did she get a master key? Did you not think of that?
I mean, probably the same way that she got it from them the first time.
What? No, that was the chapel key. Only the servants have the master keys. There's 5 of them and each servant has one.
Well, then she had an accomplice.
Yes. And there's one in Jessica's pocket, which was Kanon's.
I think literally the only way...
Unless it's possible to get into Jessica's room without a master key. If you can make some kind of theory for that. But the only way in is through the door. So, good luck with that.
It's a closed room.
Unless the culprit was still... unless the culprit was still in the room, and somehow, like, they were hiding under the bed. When everyone entered, they just got out from under the bed. It was like, hey guys, I've been...
I can see Kinzo doing that.
Because we have a red truth of who was in the room, basically. So... that's not really realistic. So if you can make a theory of that, go ahead. I'd love to see it. But yeah, unless that's true, it looks like she needs a servant accomplice.
Right. Which would make perfect sense considering the weird, like, Beatrice and her servant that she summoned.
Oh, okay, okay. We're taking that literally. Ish.
Kind of.
So who do you think the accomplice is? If Rose is
How old's Maria? She's 8? 5?
9?
9?
I want to say 9.
Okay.
Oh, so do you think Maria's an accomplice with her?
No, Maria's too stupid. Knowingly, no, definitely not.
Okay, and then she still needs to serve an accomplice for this theory to hold any ground for the second Twilight.
But I can't think of who that might be.
Okay, so any of the 4. Well, because, you know, we're excluding Kanon because
Kanon is dead.
Jessica had his key.
That's true too.
Also, yes, Kanon is dead. We have that in red. Okay, we're almost 14 minutes in. Do you have anything left to say before we start it up?
Did she lock her door?
Whose doors?
No, never mind. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so you're thinking about this a little. I think you're focusing a lot on the whodunit. You should think a bit more on the howdunit, because that's important. Although
I tried to start. I'm trying to start with someone and think like, how could this person in particular do this?
I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Well, I don't think that's a bad way to look at it, if you look from everyone's perspective. But the howdunit. If you find the howdunit, you can single it down to like 1 or 2 people. Probably. Depends on if, you know, You get what I mean? But once we finish the second game, you could focus on the how done a lot easier, since it's not how they did one Twilight, it's how they did all the Twilights. You know?
I feel like I'm playing that stupid Dark Brotherhood quest in Oblivion.
I never played Oblivion.
Oh.
Do you have to like pin the crime on someone?
It was a whodunit.
Okay.
It was you, and you were actually killing people. But...
Is that the one where you're in the mansion?
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about that one. It's Umineko. And Battler is the Dark Brotherhood assassin. It all makes sense.
Writing this down.
He just put on a purple suit. He's playing Golden Fantasia. He knows Black Battler.
Yeah. Black Battler.
Which is why I had to give him, guarantee Battler's innocent, because Black Battler just makes Battler 2, You get what I mean.
You're not supposed to detect or suspect the detective.
Right. Although you don't really know that Battler... Well, you don't know... It talks about detectives later on. That hasn't happened yet, basically. So a lot of early Umineko is like, do I trust Battler? Do I trust anyone? So, but you don't have that. You know Battler's trustworthy. If he sees something, it's canon. Everyone is canon that he sees. Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, you want to get started?
Yep.
With Jessica's death, it became certain that the culprit was hiding somewhere nearby, that they'd come for our lives if they had a chance. According to Genji-san... is this Battler narrating?
I guess. Probably. According to Genji-san, when tomorrow morning comes, the boat should arrive. The boat had a radio. We'd probably be able to contact the police directly with that. All of us gathered in the parlor and decided to wait quietly until tomorrow. I proposed that we should search throughout the mansion for clues about the culprit, but Aunt Rosa rejected that, saying that if we managed to corner the culprit, or maybe provoke them, it might lead to a third murder. Interesting.
That's her trying to get them off her tail.
That was probably the right thing to do.
Is that what you thought?
A bunch of amateurs and like us investigated. There's no way we'd find anything. It's there.
What's there? The evidence?
The thought process.
Okay.
It would be wisest to focus on protecting ourselves without doing anything unnecessary and leave it to the police starting tomorrow. We'd been tense at the beginning, but other than that, Rosa, most of us had spent all morning watching TV and getting bored, so our sense of danger had faded considerably.
There's a huge question I haven't asked you yet that, depending on it, changes how you look at who the culprit is. Do you think the culprit plans to survive?
So you're saying it's either Kinzo or someone else?
Wait, what? I mean, if you look at it like that, yeah. But if you assume the culprit is like trying to make a murder-suicide, they can create a lot more possibilities. So you're under the assumption that they want to survive this, that they have probably a physical motive to gain through this.
The gold.
Yeah, that's what physical motive. Come on now, assuming the gold exists. Okay. I just never asked you that. I completely forgot about it. Anyway.
When we thought about it, yes. 6 adults certainly had been killed together in the first murder. But that made it seem like some backhanded method like poison had been used. And for the second murder, we figured those two became sacrifices because they'd been unfortunately isolated from the rest of us. From this, it was possible to imagine the culprit wasn't a large number of adults. And that they wouldn't be capable of killing this large group gathered in the parlor all at once. Right now, in this parlor, there's George Anaki and me, Maria, Aunt Rosa, Genji-san, Goda-san, Shannon-san, Kumasawa-san, and then Dr. Nanjo, for a total of 9 people. Oh, we're down to half.
Well, Kenzo-san.
Well, half plus 1.
Nothing can stop him from being a NEET.
You're just playing Final Fantasy upstairs. Sitting his ley lines. Furthermore, Aunt Rosa was even armed with a gun. Wow, that's handy, isn't it? Surely, with this many people staying in this room, they wouldn't be able to touch us easily. That feeling of security, along with the passage of time, allowed us to recover from the shock of that morning, bit by bit. By the way, lunchtime had just ended for us. However, it had been a canned food lunch, a far cry from the dinner that... Goodness gracious. From the dinner last night that Goda-san had skillfully made for us. I wish I could skillfully talk today. Aunt Rosa also suspected the poison may have been used in the first murder. So we probably couldn't deny the possibility that the culprit had snuck into the kitchen during all that confusion in the morning and mixed poison in with the ingredients there. Aunt Rosa gave orders to all of us, saying that until the police came, we mustn't put anything into our mouths except safe things like canned food. Especially if the canned food has, like, huge lumps in it.
What if, like, the canned food just has, like, the label's in green and there's, like, a skull and crossbones? Is that okay to eat?
It's perfect. It's exactly what Rosa wants all of you, except the children to eat. As a cook, Goda-san must have felt very let down. Apparently eager to display his skill anyway, he said he wanted to at least grab some plates and arrange the canned food on them. At first, Aunt Rosa had been reluctant, examining each one of the plates that were brought, but she hadn't been able to find anything to complain about, and Goda's chef-picked canned food lunch combo was born. Goda-san said something about taste being savored not just with the tongue, but with the eyes as well. I see. It's the same canned food we ate for breakfast, but it feels like something completely different.
Ooh, battler! Look, look! This is the wolves and sheep puzzle. Ooh!
As I was sitting lazily on the sofa, with no desire to watch TV, Maria came over, pulled a picture book out of her handbag and held it out to me. What's that book? Wolves and sheep puzzle. Let's see.
We've talked about this a little.
Wolves and sheep puzzle. It was a phrase that Aunt Rosa had said this morning when we'd gone to call on Jessica. At that time, I hadn't known what it meant, and right after that was... Whew! Okay, hold on. I've been playing too much Overwatch or something. I'm, like, mentally disabled.
You want me to narrate a little for you? For, like, the next couple minutes?
Let me rub my eyes.
Okay,
Alright.
Okay.
At the time...
Same thing.
I hadn't known what it meant, and right after that was that uproar when Jessica's corpse was found, so I'd forgotten about it completely. The book that Maria held out to me looked like a foreign picture book or something that had been translated. When I opened it, I realized that it was a book stuffed with riddles.
Ooh. I think this is not battle we're talking about, Maria. Just a lucky guess.
Huh.
So you have a few wolves and a few sheep, okay? The puzzle saw you take them to the other side using one boat.
I've heard of games with rules like that, so this is a version with wolves and sheep? It was a very simple puzzle, passed on from long ago. Let's try posing a question. On the right bank, there are 2 wolves and 2 sheep. There's a boat that as many as 2 animals can ride on, and using it, you have to move all 4 of them to the opposite left bank. That's the puzzle. There are 2 rules. The first is regarding the boat. Even a single wolf or a single sheep can paddle it, but it can only hold 2 animals. The second rule is regarding the wolves. When they are greater in number than the sheep at any location, they attack the sheep and it's game over. For example, at the start of the game, let's say the 2 sheep get in the boat and go over to the other side, and 1 sheep gets off and the other goes back to the first bank. When it does, there are 2 wolves on the first bank and a single sheep returns there. When that happens, the number of wolves is greater, so the sheep is attacked and it's game over. On either bank, or even the boat, there must never be more wolves than the sheep, and you've got to shuttle them all across under these conditions. By the way, the right answer is to move both wolves to the opposite bank at the first turn, then 1 wolf comes back. On the second turn, you move 2 sheep to the opposite bank, then 1 wolf comes back. Then on the third turn, you put that last wolf that was on the right bank on the boat and cross to the opposite bank, and congratulations! Transport successful.
Mission successful!
Partway, there may be the same number of wolves and sheep in the same boat or on the other side, but that isn't a problem. You only lose when the number of wolves is greater. This book uses wolves and sheep as an example, but lots of people probably know this game using different characters. It looked like Maria wanted to test whether I too could solve the puzzles she knew how to solve, and she kept showing me different pages saying, solve this one, and this one's hard.
Hold on, I want to prepare you for something. Are you familiar with episode 8 at all, from what I've told you?
No.
There's riddles in it, like, you have to play riddles.
Okay.
One of them, Maria's, like, every character has a riddle. Maria's is an elaborate wolves and sheep puzzle. Like, there's like a farmer, a chicken, a hen, some hay, the farmer's wife, some random guy, and it's the worst riddle. I hate that one. That's the only one I can't reliably solve. Because I've gone back and done the riddles a few times. I hate that one. So I just wanted to vent. That's the worst riddle.
What was happening when Aunt Rosa first mentioned this puzzle? That's right. When we decided to go and get Jessica, we talked about how many men should go, and Aunt Rosa mentioned the wolves and the sheep puzzle, saying we should all go together. Choke to a minute. That could only mean one thing. Aunt Rosa was saying that there was a wolf among us. So was she thinking we'd be safe if the number of wolves and sheep was in balance? But that the wolves would bare their fangs and the situation changed? At the time we found our parents' corpses, Aunt Rosa was already suspected that the servants might be wolves. She sniffed out the possibility that, while she didn't know whether it was all of them or some of them, there were wolves hiding among them. That's no surprise. That murder scene was very elaborate. It's easy to imagine that there were multiple culprits. But because she'd reached that conclusion, when we went to Jessica's room, and learned that Jessica had been killed after being alone with the servant, Kanon, it isn't hard to imagine why Aunt Rosa suspected the servant so persistently. Why didn't Rosa suspect herself?
Good question.
Why didn't she point the gun to herself?
It's who feels is the culprit.
It makes sense.
Only the culprit wouldn't do that.
Hmm.
What if be like, hey, what if I fell asleep and another me woke up? Like the evil me and killed everyone. That's normal assumption. I played Tsukihime. I know how this works.
You're an idiot.
I played Tsukihime. It's your line.
Sorry, I was checking my EpiPen. You servants, go to Sana's going to the kitchen to clean the dishes. Just in case, would you please all go with him?
My apologies, everyone. Let us go as a group.
Shannon, Kumasawa, we are going.
Yes, coming.
Well then, George-san, excuse me for now.
Yes. Take care. Hi, Aunt Rosa. Could I go as well?
Interesting.
What? George asking for permission?
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but would you remain here, George-kun? There's something I want to talk to you about.
So that's all. Sorry, Shannon. Anyway, take care. Don't be alone.
Yes. I'm sorry, Tasha Nanjo. I wanted to consult you about something.
Yes, what could that be?
I'm waiting.
I'll leave. the door's right there. I won't let me hit me on the way out.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
What? Is that a saying?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Most people probably haven't. The servants put the dishes and empty cans in the serving cart and started to head out into the corridor. Behind them, Aunt Rosa was talking to Dr. Nanjo about something in a small voice.
Understood. I will go.
Yes, I'm counting on you.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Nanjo closed the book he had been reading, rose from the sofa, and followed after the servants. Aunt Rosa stuck her head out into the hallway, and after seeing that they were completely out of sight, she closed the door and spoke. Listen up, everyone. With that, everyone here is an Ushidamiya.
Hmm? Yes, that's true. This is battling.
So you're saying that you've chased out all of the wolves, Aunt Rosa? With that one sentence, Aunt Rosa's gaze grew sharp. Apparently, she had picked up on the sarcasm. She laughed lightly. Your mind sure works fast, Battler-kun. I like clever kids. It means there's less to explain.
Ooh, Battler's smart? That's a first. Can you solve this? Page 64 is hard. How many cuts does it take to cut this piece of cheese? Tell me. Ooh. You'll get that a lot later.
What?
This is journal in episode 6 that Erica uses to show how smart she is.
Okay.
It involves a piece of cheese and a knife.
Okay. What? Maria, go watch TV for a bit. Mama wants to talk with Battler-kun and George-kun. What about Jessica-chan?
Oh, she's kind of dead.
Oh, wait.
Ooh. Aunt Rosa. I heard about the puzzle from Battler-kun. I don't think it's wrong to be on our guard, but I also think there's such a thing as being too suspicious.
Whether the real culprit is HorseyEatYou or not, there's reason for us to suspect that the servants are in on it. In the first murder, where Nissan and the others were killed, they were treated very brutally, right? Did that look like something that could have been done alone?
Maybe the mystery guest, Beatrice-sama, worked all night and did it all.
And what about the master key in the door to Jessica's room? Isn't that proof one of the servants was involved? Only the master key could have locked the door to Jessica's room, so we can only suppose that one of the servants did it. No, wait. Spin the chessboard around. That's strange, Aunt Rosa. After killing Jessica, why would the culprit go to all the trouble of locking the door? The fact that it was locked made it inevitable that the owners of the master keys would be suspected. There was no reason for them to go through all that trouble of locking the door.
That's right. That's George.
Oh, okay.
This is actually something for you to think about. I also mentioned this with the first Twilight. Why is the culprit doing this? Especially if you think they want to escape with the money. Because then, why would they go out of their way to... Like, if it's a... Let's say a servant is either the culprit or the accomplice, okay? Why would they do this when this would incriminate themselves? Even if they do kill everyone else, it's possible they could write down something they don't know about.
God.
And the police would come and...
It's so hard to think about that because I play games where you have... So I play fighting games, right?
Yeah.
And in fighting games, you have to do a lot of mind games.
Okay.
And this is exactly something that a fighting game player would do to throw everybody
What if
off.
they made an Umineko fighting game? Pretty cool, huh? Anyway.
Like, if I was a servant, I would lock a door just so that suspicions would be raised on 4 separate people, I guess.
Because reverse psychology, you'd be relying on Battler spinning the chessboard over?
So I would be a beloved family servant, so they'd be like, I couldn't have been this. It couldn't have been that person. It has to be one of the other people, or it couldn't have been a servant. It had to be someone else did this.
Okay, but since they left that Jessica's room key, if they had taken that or the master key, either one, they would have had 2 master keys potentially, because Kanon's. Or Jessica's room key. That's not really that useful, but... That's my train of thought.
I'm not sure where you're going with that one.
Why did they leave Jessica's room key in there? They probably didn't know about Kanon's master key in Jessica's pocket. Although, they probably would have looked in Kanon's corpse, been like, in Kanon's corpse, they look at his mouth. But no, why would they do that? Because that would only incriminate themselves. Like you said, there's that reverse psychology aspect to it, but wouldn't they gain more from taking Jessica's room key and not leaving it in there so that it could be anyone on the island? They'd be under equal suspicion.
You're not entirely wrong. But that could lead to more issues if somehow the key was found on their person. But I guess it's just as easy to get rid of the key.
They could have just chucked it out the window.
That's true. Or into the ocean.
Well, I mean, that's a bit of a long ways to go. Like, I assume Jessica's room is out looking like some woods. Just throw it that way. Because I know there's a forest.
That would have been an option, but I mean, maybe they just didn't think about it at the time.
That's true. But leaving it there, that was definitely intentional, right? They planned that. They wanted to leave it there. So now, maybe we're talking too much, but I want to get this into your head of thinking, spinning the chessboard over and over and over until something fits. But now, so we know there's 5 master keys and each servant has one. And that's the only way into the room with the master key.
Right.
What if they had a way around that? That would benefit them the most. But if there was, it'd benefit them the most.
No, you're right.
That's the way you should be thinking. Because even with the red truths that make it look like, you know, some really weird thing, like as if they designed this for the red truths, those exist in another world. The red truths don't exist in this world. They exist in the metal world. So if a human did this, not a witch, because only a witch would know about the metal world. So it could be magic. But a human wouldn't perform it like that. You get what I mean?
I have to think about this from too many different perspectives.
You start reading again, or we're thinking? Or which one?
We can start reading again.
Okay. The first Twilight in particular is pretty suspicious about that. What did they gain from doing that convoluted letter opening the resealing scheme? Like, suspicion, yeah, but would a human culprit go that far for it? I mean, a witch could do that easily. But a human? I don't know.
It really depends on how crazy the human is.
That's true.
That's a lot of money, Nicholas.
That's true, but would you risk that amount of money? Like, for example, going and opening that letter and getting the key, and then putting it back? Think of how much of a risk that is.
It's enormous.
Exactly. What do you want to risk? $200 million or 2 billion yen, something like that, on the chance
someone did.
Yeah, but why would they do that? And did they take a risk at all?
An interesting thought.
Okay, that's all you're gonna get out of me. Try to kickstart your thinking here. It's the Ace Attorney. You're thinking too easily. Think outside the box. Don't think why it happened. Think about why it had to happen. Something like that. That's an Ace Attorney quote. You haven't gotten there yet. You're like case 3 of Ace Attorney, right?
Yeah, I'm on day 3.
It's the 4th case.
I was on day 3, but I wiped my hard drive. So.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
I'm done with Ace Attorney forever.
I might actually have an Ace Attorney save on my laptop. Maybe. If you're interested in that. Anyway, let's get on with it.
Not important right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep reading.
There's no reason for them... That's right. Just as Battle-kun says, there was no need for them to go through all that trouble of making themselves look suspicious.
Yes, that's an interesting thought. Of course, I also thought that. Oh, did you? If that's the case, then the person who locked it wanted to cast suspicion on the servants and locked it without a master key. That's actually impossible. Right?
Unless they did it from the inside, but then how would they get out from the
How would they
inside?
get out?
Well, a witch could just...
Oh, they used magic.
Yeah.
I wonder what
Yeah?
the butterflies are.
Oh, that's a good thought. What did the butterflies represent? if they represent anything.
I'll have to see him more to know. That's right. If there is some trick that could lock that door without a master key, that would make this a great disguise for casting doubt on the servants. That's one of Kinzo's auto-locking doors.
I'll say that in your head.
Gold.
Jessica's door is not an auto-locking door. That's in your head.
If the culprit's goal is for us to isolate ourselves from the group so they could attack us one by one, this trick would also be effective at giving rise to paranoia. But there is no way to lock that door without using a master key. How can you be so sure that there's no way to lock that door without a master key? Isn't that a devil's proof, like Rudolph Nissan was talking about earlier? Maybe it was locked by some method we can't think of. Even if we can't think of a way, we can't deny the possibility of some unknown trick being used. That's true too, I guess.
This is what we just talked about.
So is that it? No smoke without fire again? I don't know the practical details of the trick, but I have a general idea. My apologies, but if we make the assumption that Kanon-kun was the culprit, it can be explained extremely easily. Even as to why there was no corpse.
Huh? But Kanon-kun didn't have a master key, right?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Putting aside the other servants, at least Kanon-kun shouldn't have been able to lock the door.
I see. So that's why you told us to search in the closet and everywhere else right after we entered Jessica's room. Aunt Rosa, your mind works faster than I would have guessed from how you normally act. The brain speed of a little sister is always the big sister's -1. Right now there's no one I need to worry about without... Oh, sorry. Right now there's no one I need to worry about offending, which is certainly a relief. Georgiana Key realized she was referring to Aunt Ava. Seemed a little uncertain about how we should take that sarcasm.
I'm sorry. Could you explain it so even I can understand? Kanon-kun's master key was in Jessica Chin's pocket, closed up inside a closed room. After the door was locked, it should have been impossible to put it in her pocket from outside the room, no matter what trick you used. There's an episode of, I think it's Detective Conan, where someone puts a key inside the dead guy's pocket, ties it to a string, goes outside the door, still holding, it's a really long piece of string. Wait, no, puts a string inside his pocket, takes the key out with him outside the door, locks the door, pulls on the string so the key goes inside his pocket, and the string comes off inside his pocket, and he just grabs the key and goes.
You know...
if he did that.
That is something that crossed my mind for an entire second, and I was like, that is so stupid that it could only happen in anime.
I mean, if the door has a, like, if the key can fit under the door, that could theoretically work if the string's strong enough.
Yeah, it's not wrong, but... No
I
way.
wouldn't mention that if that happened, so...
Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way you would say that.
Yeah, there's no way I'd just directly say the way the murder happened at all. Like Kinzo in the parlor with the candle stick.
Listen, I feel like a couple of times you've probably told me and I just haven't noticed.
I don't remember
if I have or not.
I don't remember if I have or not, honestly. I think I've slipped some pretty strong hints once or twice, but maybe.
But it's not like I know what those hints are, so...
Yeah.
If this was done the way Aunt Rose is thinking of, this trick could only be used by Kanon-kun. Plus, the door could only be locked without using a key, while the master key was still in Jessica's pocket. And it would also result in his corpse disappearing.
How? How could he lock the door without a key?
It's simple. George-kun, when you return home, you lock the door, right? You twist the knob, click, and you're done, right?
Huh? Could it be... No, but... Kanon-kun was nowhere to be found.
Looks like you got it, Aniki. That's what Aunt Rosa was searching the room for. She was searching for Kanon-kun, who had locked the door from the inside and stuck the key in Jessica's pocket. Before hiding somewhere, waiting for us to walk past him.
Which we know in Red couldn't have happened. Because Beatrice said...
But we don't know that in the real world, so
yes.
Stop talking about it. It was the simplest kind of closed room trick. It meant him hiding in a closed room after the murder was committed. Then, all he had to do was get out after those who discovered the body left. And the closed room murder would work perfectly. When we searched that room, we didn't find anything. But for all we know, that room might have been excuse me. But for all we know, that room might have had a hidden passage that only servants know about. We don't know where such a thing might have hidden, but if we assume there was such a passage, we can conclude that it was impossible for everyone but him. Okay, I was about to say... Well, about that line of reasoning. I thought of that too at the very beginning. It's the kind of reasoning I hate most, so I wanted to destroy it right at the start.
Kanon-kun was killed in this room, right? You apparently suspected that Kanon was the culprit, so you made me repeat this to destroy that possibility right off the bat. Yes, I understand.
So this is what I thought next. I made a theory where there were actually 3 people in that room. Jessica and Kanon-kun were victims, and the culprit, the guest Beatrice, was also in there with them.
You wanted to make it the human me who committed the crime without using magic. I see. Bizarre theory that suits you perfectly.
I guess that you killed those 2, then locked the door from the inside, and that you carried Kanon-kun's corpse away using some secret method that normal people wouldn't notice. In other words, you used a secret door to escape. But you told me it in red. You said no kind of hidden door existed in that room.
Indeed. There can exist no secret passages that you all are not aware of. Was it Nox who said it, or was it Van Dyne? So, those guys haven't been mentioned in Umineko yet? You can consider that significant or not, as you recall. Seems that in mystery novels, there must never be hidden passages. I simply follow that etiquette. Etiquette.
Okay.
So even without having to thoroughly search there you go, my famous detective can conclude that no secret passages exist. Humans playing detective have it so easy.
Damn you, talking so big. Thanks. Thanks to the mighty witch being so diplomatic, I get to conclude that the room has no hidden doors without searching the whole thing.
Indeed. There are no hidden doors in this room. There's no way to get in or out other than the door and the windows.
Oh!
But the window is locked from the inside. I believe there's a red truth about that. Did I delete mine? Oh, there it is.
Which means...
Oh, look at your truth folder.
Oh.
Do you have the second violent one saved?
Good truth. I have them split up inside the document.
Okay, good. I told you to do that. The window was locked from the inside is in red.
The window was locked from the inside.
Oh, do you not have that one saved? Because that's there.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. She's just repeating what she's already said.
Oh, yeah. Right, well, she didn't say that just now. Anyway.
Which means that the theory Aunt Rose is so confident in is wrong. Also, annoyingly, it's impossible to disprove her theory. If you, the witch, say there are no hidden doors in red, then it's settled. However, no matter how much a human like me tries to argue against her, Aunt Rosa probably won't accept it. Humans can't prove there's no hidden door. It's the devil's proof. Damn. It sure is convenient being a witch.
No way. They call Kanon-kun the culprit because of a hidden door we don't even know exists.
Uso.
I can't accept that.
If you can't accept it, then find me a different theory that's more convincing. There is none. I've been thinking this the whole time. There's no other option.
Angry, starey face.
George-kun, you and Shannon are close, right? I imagine that's why you find it so hard to accept that all the servants are culprits. Even I don't want to believe that Shannon is in league with the culprit. But whether they're all in it together or not, there's definitely a culprit, or maybe an accomplice, in that group. That point alone is something you absolutely need to understand. If you guess there were wolves besides Kanon-kun, does that mean the uproar you caused by accusing Kanon-kun in Jessica's room was to gauge the reactions of other servants? Yes, that's right. And as a result, I begin to suspect them even more. There certainly is a wolf among the servants. Certainly. And just like in the wolves and sheep puzzle, while they may be docile most of the time, they'll surely attack if they get the chance. Jessica Chan was a lone sheep on that boat. In Maria's version of the puzzle, they may not attack when there's an equal number of wolves and sheep, but our puzzle is different. Depending on the situation and the number of people, they'll attack even if there is a balance. Just like when Jessica Chan was killed.
Then there's something that makes me mad. If that's true, then wouldn't you and Channing go to the kitchen? Put her in a dangerous situation, didn't you? We should go to the kitchen right now, too. No matter who may or may not be a wolf. If staying there together means we remain in balance, I think we should keep it that way.
Shannon Chan went to see father along with Genji-san. At that time, she was supposedly isolated, but she wasn't killed. Was it because Genji-san wasn't a wolf either? Wrong. It's because they were both wolves.
Shannon isn't the kind of person who will take part in a crime. I can't let a comment like that slide, not even from you, Aunt Rosa. I demand that you take back what you just said.
I hate saying this in front of Aniki, but the way you're arguing feels just like something Aunt Ava might say.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah! It's like you're automatically assuming that you're right, unless we can counter your argument. Looks like you can't fight against your own blood after all, Aunt Rosa. Even I can't think of myself as very praiseworthy right now. But guess what? I'm a mother. I'd become even a demon to protect Maria's safety.
Yeah, sure is a demon, alright.
Interesting. I really wish I could shut
Give it the whole
myself away
child
somewhere
abuse
alone with her. What the fuck?
What?
But I also plan to act as a mother to you two. Right now you're practically my children. Even if you aren't my own, I won't forsake you. No matter what. Well, thanks for that.
Hey, just remember that line? I won't forsake you no matter what. Just remember that for the next couple episodes. I mean, not episodes, chapters.
I just wanted to warn you not to be careless, as your mother. Stay where I can see you at all times. I will protect you. And at the same time, you'll be observing us to make sure we aren't wolves. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Can you, Aunt Rosa, prove that you aren't a wolf yourself? Yes, I can. Oh, can you? That's a quick answer. How? With this. This is my proof.
The classic, I have a gun, but I haven't shot you yet defense.
Yes. Aunt Rosa lifted her gun and pointed the barrel at me. But it was only for an instant. She immediately lowered the gun, laughing impishly.
She doesn't have good trigger safety.
Yeah, she has her finger on the trigger.
Yes.
Not very disciplined. I wouldn't trust her even if she actually wasn't a wolf.
Are you sure she's a wolf now?
I'm entirely certain she's a wolf.
But this could be more reverse psychology.
The classic reverse psychology.
It happens.
At what point does the cycle stop? I mean, we have spinning the chessboard over, but you can't just keep spinning the chessboard around infinitely. At some point, it has to stop.
Well, don't you know when the chessboard stops, Nicholas?
What's that? What happens when the chessboard stops?
That's when that's when we start spinning the chessboard again.
Okay, let's keep reading. We're almost an hour in.
She immediately lowered the gun, laughing impishly. But to me, the time I spent staring down the barrel of that gun felt like an eternity.
How does that gun prove you aren't the culprit, Aunt Rosa?
Think about it. What if I were the culprit? Would I really give up the once-in-a-lifetime chance I got when the servants left? I could just shoot you. Bang! And think of a fitting excuse later. Something like, Bia Toriichi appeared outside the window and started shooting at us. I just need to leave 2 empty cartridges on the ground and say I fired back at her twice. Well, that's a crazy violent way to argue it, but it does make sense.
That he sounded like all nervous. Like you just had a gun pointed at you.
There's something Krasny-san used to say all the time, long ago. Might is right. Maybe that really is true. I'm sorry, you two. I've somewhat lost my composure after all the crimes since this morning. You know how I normally end, so I must seem desperate and a bit short-tempered right now.
Yeah, you know, murdering 8 people does that to you.
But please understand, I want to protect you from a malicious culprit. I will become a demon to do that. 8 people. You mean 6? 7 people?
7?
There were 18 people on the island, right?
There's 10 alive right now.
I thought there were 11.
No.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 9 plus 1 is...
Yeah.
I
It
forgot
was
Kinzo.
first Twilight 6 and then 2 in the second.
I counted Kinzo as 2 people.
By the way, take a look at the epitaph again. The second part of it. Just so you know what's coming up. I don't think you've looked at it in a while. If you go to the characters, you go to tips, and then the portrait epitaph.
System... Tips... Epitaph...
So after the first and second Twilight, it becomes kind of chaotic. The third one was a letter in the first game saying, praise my name, or something like that. Then, fourth down, some of them are solo killing, some of them aren't. Doesn't really matter. The first 2 are the only ones with a serious pattern to them. With the other ones, it's just they have a stake in that part of their body. Tell me once you read them. Well, just continue reading once you got them down.
I should read the third Twilight right now?
Yes, but the third Twilight isn't... It's like a pseudo Twilight. It's there, but it's not really there.
Gotcha.
Also, are you speaking into a bottle?
Yep.
Okay. What if for Kraus you started speaking into a bottle? Like he was wearing an astronaut suit? Because, you know, the whole Moon Hotel?
Moon Hotel.
Yeah.
Alright.
Please stop.
Metal Gear. Moon Hotel.
Let's get on with it. We're almost an hour in. And I think we're only like halfway done through the episode.
Well, this is going to be the special extended Umineko episode.
Yeah, let me look. How long is this one? Yeah, we're not even halfway through. Let's hurry up.
I want to protect you from a malicious culprit. I will become a demon to do that. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry for saying that something, or I'm sorry for saying something that's angered you, Battler-kun, George-kun. Let's make up. An unsatisfied expression rose to George Anaki's face. He probably couldn't forgive the damage done to Shannon's honor. What about me? Several bits of circumstantial evidence hinted at the servant's participation. I didn't want to believe that one of them was the culprit, or possibly colluding with the culprit, but in our current situation, that was little more than wishful thinking. Whom should I believe? Whom should have... In the first place, who is the culprit? Their accomplices? And if so, how many? It seems I've only been suspecting the people we know. I quickly forgot that 19th person, the guest Beatrice, who arrived yesterday and boldly claimed to be the Golden Witch. In fact, I still haven't seen her face. I heard she greatly resembled the witch in that portrait, but since I haven't seen her directly, no matter how hard I try, it doesn't really feel to me like a 19th person is on this island. So, I've been subconsciously hallucinating that the culprit's one of the 18. Damn it. Come on, Beatrice. If you're the bad guy, then act like the bad guy and show yourself, laughing at a high-pitched voice and mocking us. Just like the bad guy in one of those dramas, who, even when they're exposed as the culprit, aggressively says, "Where's your proof?"
Cut. Where's your proof?
Shut up. No more talking.
Beatrice can mind read, by the way. Okay, now we're halfway through the episode.
We did it. An hour in. One more hour and we'll be done with it.
Ooh. There are 5 humans in the kitchen, but it's very
Maria's
quiet.
not talking.
Hmm?
Interesting. That was in first person.
Did I say ooh?
Yeah.
But it was very quiet, filled only with the sound of rain. It was only accented by the sound of Shannon and Kumasawa washing the dishes. Goto was using the leftovers from breakfast and lunch as ingredients for his soup. Ghost had suspected that poison might have been added to the food, so they decided to eat canned goods, but it hadn't been too satisfying. but Goto thought she was being too cautious. So he was spontaneously creating a soup to be served only to those who wanted some. Shannon and Kumasawa were washing the dishes that the food had been arranged on. On the inside, they thought that maybe Goto should wash them, since he'd been the one who wanted the food arranged on the plates in the first place. But they left the complaints unsaid for the time being. I think I screwed up a line there. But Genji and Nanjo were facing each other across a crude chess set that had many years of experience. The game had still only just begun, and because the opening game of these experienced players had been honed to perfection, it looked like a ceremony where they just moved specific pieces in a specific order. That's a nice aroma. It smells fishy. You want to get this from canned food? It was made only from skilled ingredients, so there won't be any poison mixed in. And making enough for everybody, so please eat. Of course, that will also taste for poison. Please feel secure and eat.
That really is a nice aroma. Goto-san, the food you cook is really delicious.
Being able to create delicious food when you buy delicious ingredients is hardly special. Create delicious food. My master taught me that a true cook needs to perfect their ability to make delicious food from whatever is on hand. That was a good master. Thanks to him, looks like we'll get to enjoy some truly delicious soup. Gota's backstory. He climbed up a mountain when he's a kid. It was trained me in the art of cooking, sensei. And it was an old man. And his first task was to catch a fly with chopsticks while wearing a turtle shell.
Out of it.
While wearing a turtle shell on your back that weighs 20 kilos.
And then to go find Bulma's panties and bring them to him?
Yeah. Okay, Genji's line.
Although it is a shame that it was made from ingredients intended for all of the family members to eat.
I'm sure Rosa-san is tired after everything that happened this morning. It's only natural. But thanks to that, we get to drink some soup made from delicious ingredients. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Rosa had fervently warned everyone that they didn't understand the danger they were in, and they must assume that poison was mixed in with the food. The mood at the time had led them to agree, but hunger wasn't something that could be swayed by momentary emotion like that. Ironically, we've ended up with a soup that we normally wouldn't be able to savor. If possible, I'd like to serve it to everyone in the parlor, but...
Seeing that it would violate Rosa-sama's instructions, you had best give up on that idea. It's enough that only those who want to eat it do so.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Skillfully taking a breather when no one's looking is also an important skill for a servant, isn't it? When Kumasawa cackled, Shannon and Goto laughed too. It seemed that in this space where only their fellow servants were gathered, they could relax quite a bit. Shannon didn't like Gota's occasional dishonesty, but she knew that there was no falsehood in his childish smile when he cooked, nor in his desire for people to enjoy his food. So even though it was a little aggravating. I thought that was aggravation. I was like, how did I screw up that?
Ow.
to be made to wash the dishes. She couldn't really hate him. However, they couldn't have dreamed that Rosa was calling them wolves in the parlor at exactly the same moment when they were spending their time peacefully like this. At that time, several of the servants heard a sound like something being dragged, and then a thump. It seemed like the sound made by a servant outside the back door when they were carrying a mountain of trash bags on a rainy day. Maybe when a servant was returning from work wearing a raincoat. So at first, that sound didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary to any of them. Hey, what do you think this is? You think Kinzo got them a new pony?
Yeah. I mean, it's dead, but... I see Kinzo giving them a dead pony.
Just he had Genji, who was also in the room with them at the same time, clone himself to drag the pony out.
That'd be amazing.
Because Kinzo can't leave his room, come on. He's
No,
Kinzo.
of course not.
So at first, that sound didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary to any of them. But they soon realized. Right now, everyone was either in the kitchen or in the parlor, so it could possibly be at the back door. So the servants all looked at each other. They checked to make sure that each one of them knew what that sound meant. Who could it be? The servants knew them anxiously out well, so they understood how incomprehensible it would be for someone from the parlor to actually go outside in this typhoon, go all the way around, come up to this back door. Then it was Kinzo? Was it Kinzo? They couldn't imagine that Kinzo, who never left to study, would dash out into the middle of this typhoon and go to the back of the house. I could see Kinzo doing that.
I could see Kinzo doing that too.
Where only low-class people ever entered or exited.
That wasn't our imagination, was it?
Maybe what happened, he like just jumped out his window for a midnight stroll, you know? Like midday stroll.
I could see Kinzo doing that. He's just got like a roller coaster that extends its rails. He's just screaming the Umineko anime's ending.
Remember that thought. It'll be a while, but remember that thought.
The Kinzo roller coaster, is it real?
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, Erica will crush your dreams.
It's just like it's like Kinzo's mouth he comes out of, and he's got like his hands raised.
I want that to be real.
I want it to be real so bad.
I want an Umineko spin-off where they go to Poppyville Land. Baskerville Land. Kids
The Baskerville theme park.
Yeah. And, okay. let's not get sidetracked. We're doing well.
You gotta make a Mario noise.
What?
You gotta make a Mario noise.
It's a me.
No, look, it's your line.
Oh, that wasn't our imagination, was it?
No, below that.
Oh, you already said that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm narrating. Shannon and Kumasawa drew close together, fearfully looking at the back door. Who is it? As Goto fearfully approached the back door, he called out, and his eyes flashed towards the butcher's knife that sat in a nearby sink. He didn't pick it up yet, because there's still a possibility that this was a member of the family. However, that possibility was impossible. Kinzo. There's no response from across the door to Goto's initial question. Maybe his voice had been so quiet that it hadn't reached through all the wind and rain outside. Genji-san?
Yes. Stand back, Dr. Nanjo and the women. And the women!
Who in the world could it be?
That was good. I like that.
What, that Angel voice?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Genji took a knife with a classical design from a stationery box placed near the chest side. It was something to be used instead of a paper knife to open envelopes for statements of deliveries and bills. Oh! But it was still a knife. So the blade on it could injure someone. Ignore that. Oh, that wasn't important. Genji hid it in his sleeve with a well-practiced motion. Then he approached the back door himself, giving Goto a silent nod. So, since that was kind of obvious, I think that's a very, very small detail that could be something that's not relevant to the mysteries. Just throwing that out there. I don't think it's actually what I think it is, but it could be. Goto casually approached the back door, slowly started to open it. I'll say on your head that has nothing to do with the mysteries. That's on your head.
Okay.
Assuming mysteries refers to like.
They're gonna sell those in Poppyville.
Why? The shadow of a person suddenly shuffled into sight, landed on its knees, fell over. Goto fell backwards onto his backside and couldn't get up. That human shadow was soaked with rain, smeared with mud, and drenched with blood. Who do you think it is?
Kanon-kun? Kanon-kun! Kanon, are you alright? Dr. Nanjo.
It was Kanon. His breath is feeble, and the puddles of mud he left were quickly drenched bright red. When Nanjo held him and turned him face up, there was a deep, gruesome wound right in the center of his chest, as though he'd been stabbed there by a spear or something. Even now, deep red blood poured out of there. This is horrible. What shall we do? Get a first aid kit? A first aid kit? Kanon-kun, place your hand against the wound. Please, push firmly. Let's carry him to the bed in the servant room. Everyone, please, lend a hand. Come now, Kanon-san. Please, hang in there a little longer. So,
hang in there.
What do you take of this? Do you think anything's wrong with this?
I'm not sure yet.
Have you noticed the contradiction?
Yeah, Kanon died in that room.
Exactly, that's in your head. So what's this? It says here that he's barely alive. Yeah, we have a red truth saying he was it died or was killed. I think earlier this episode it said killed, but I think last episode it said died. No,
Kanon
no,
was
it said
killed in this room. That is the red truth.
Yeah, it was killed. Okay.
He is dead. As far as the story is concerned, this man is dead.
So what's this? A bunch of people just witnessed him.
I don't know yet. It'll be okay. So don't take your hand from the wound. At any rate, let us carry him to the servant room. Kumasawa, inform Rosa-sama that we have found Kanon.
Is this Kanon? Oh, wait. Not Yosa-sama. Please wait. Kanon-san said. Not Yosa-sama.
What do you mean, Kanon-kun? This is no time for that. Let us quickly carry him to the servant room. Kumasawa, do not tell Rosa-sama yet. We will do it after we hear the situation from Kanon.
Yes. Eek. You told them not to tell Yosa, right after appearing in this state. This could only mean something very disquieting. An eerie anxiety rose to their faces. Come now, everyone. Let's hurry and carry him. Quickly, quickly.
We're gonna go to the meta world soon, because this is confusing.
It is, isn't it? Now, I mean, if we ignore the contradiction, this supports your Yosa as the culprit theory.
This does.
But there's a huge...
doesn't make any sense.
There's a huge gaping contradiction here. Kanon's wound was unbelievably deep.
Is it the wound in his chest, or...?
Was it the fact that Jessica's dead? And he'll never be able to return the mixtape. Have I joked about the mixtape with you yet? I don't know. Judging from Angel's pale face, it was a miracle that he was still conscious. This is horrible. He appears to have been stabbed by something like a spear. If it hasn't reached the lungs, might be able to do something. Right, Angel does an autopsy. At any rate, we must stop the bleeding. No matter how much Angel tried to wipe off that gushing deep red blood, he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't wipe it all away. And each time the wound was aggravated, causing Kanon to cry in anguish.
Kanon-kun! 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 Hang in there. Hang in there.
Dr. Nanjo, here's a new towel. How horrible.
What is his condition?
In all honesty, this is so severe that I cannot believe he's alive. Maybe the location of the wound was fortunate, but the blood loss is too horrible. A blood transfusion is necessary, but that'll be impossible until tomorrow. Rosa-sama, to us.
Don't talk, Kanon-kun. Your wound will open.
Rosa-sama came to my lady and me and... What did you say? Rosa-sama did? Oh, could that mean?
Are you certain?
Yes, I'm certain. It was Rosa-sama. Come now, don't speak anymore. Kumasawa-san, please grab another first aid kit. Genji-san, is it possible Rosa-sama did such a thing?
I do not know.
Disregarding Nanjo and Kumasawa, who are struggling hard and stained with blood as they try to stop the bleeding, Genji and Goda face each other. Because of what Kanon had said was the truth, Yosa was the culprit who killed Jessica. Curse you, Yosa, is this Kanon? How could he do that to my lady? Yes, this is Kanon. I'll kill you. I'll kill you! Ah! So, any more thoughts on this? Do you think this is completely falsified? That there isn't an almost dead Kanon in here? Or do you think...
I mean, if the stakes were real, this is absolutely Wrath. But they're not, so I'm not sure what's going on.
I'll just say this. I'm gonna give you a hint, metaphorically wise. You're putting too much emphasis on thinking of the stakes by their thing.
No.
I want to go as far to say that's irrelevant, but it's not like they bring people back to life with that sin.
No.
Yeah, okay.
But...
You just don't need to think about it quite so hard.
Maybe he wasn't killed in that room yet?
I'll say this. Whenever the red truth is made, is the time it's referring to. So it's not like it's referring to a future time. When she said that, he had been killed in that room.
So okay.
Is there a way around that?
I don't know. If he was killed in the room, he absolutely 100% died.
Yes. Is there a way around that? There's two angles you can approach this from. From the word canon or the word killed.
So just put like apostrophes around either?
You try thinking about that. For example, Kanon, that's his servant name, right? What if there's someone else a long time ago with the servant name Kanon who was killed in that room?
Okay, that seems too easy.
But it works with the red, doesn't it? I mean, granted, there's absolutely no foreshadowing for that. But we could instead assume someone who also had the name Kanon, who's one of the 7 that's already dead, is excluding Kanon, was killed in that room, and their name, maybe they went by Kanon. That's pretty ridiculous, but it avoids the red. And then the other way, killed. Is there a way around the word killed? Can you be killed but not be dead?
People die when they are killed.
Oh man, you got me there. There's two ways to approach that. It's one of those. If there is a way around this. If there's not, that means he's dead. And what we're seeing
Neither of those make any sense.
That is fair. So, then what do we see here?
If it has to be at that time, then someone... I don't know. I'll think about it.
Okay. Kanon screamed even more hatefully. His hate-filled voice made it seem like he was seeing Jessica being harmed right before his eyes. Certainly, Yosa-sama may have had a reason to kill my lady. If everyone in the Ushirimiya family were destroyed, the inheritance would all go to Yosa-sama. If so, Battle-sama and George-sama are in danger. Not only is Yosa-sama holding a gun, but right now, they're the only ones in the lounge. Genji-san, isn't this situation quite perilous? Sharon suddenly ran out into the corridor. Her expression was complex and tragic, so she didn't know what to believe. Sharon ran. To where? The inside of the mansion had been
Scrupulously.
Scrupulously? Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Cleaned. So it probably wouldn't be easy to find. She might find it if she searched the rose garden, but they've probably all been lost in the wind and rain. That's right. The boiler room isn't cleaned very often. If she went there, she might be able to find it. Sharon ran downstairs to find that in the underground boiler room. What do you think that is? Did some medicine take effect at the brink of death? Or is Kanon finally beyond feeling pain? Oh yeah, he was resuscitated after he was killed. That's a way around that. For the time being, at least Kanon's painful gasping had subsided. Nanjo
Got struck by lightning.
He's seeing. He has a galvanized tree, something like that.
I mean, it's possible to die and then come back.
Yes, that's true.
But
It gets
Kanon would
around
have
the
to
red.
be one lucky son of a bitch.
I mean, he is 0 on the roulette. You have to land on that eventually.
Yeah, whatever.
And he didn't let his eyes off Kanon for a second. Kumasawa firmly gripped Kanon's hand and kept encouraging him, so that the willpower keeping him alive didn't fade away. Genji and Goda seemed uncertain how to respond to the truth Kanon induced his life to deliver.
Rosa-sama's gun surely has 4 or 5 shots loaded.
That is no small number. But loading cartridges into a Winchester should require quite a lot of practice. She might be able to get one shot off, but if everyone attacks her at once, she'll be able to take the gun from her before she shoots again.
We may have a doctor on this island, but we have no access to medicine and no hospital. If the location of the shot is bad, that person will die.
I understand that. But more importantly, if we don't move quickly, there's a chance another crime will occur. Remember that time Goda was actually a hero of justice? It seems to be that Yosa-sama managed to cleverly chase us out. This is Goda's episode, by the way. Don't expect him to be relevant after this. Unfortunately. Maybe George-sama and Battery-sama are being killed right now. Oh, If our foe is so dangerous, wouldn't it be better if we didn't provoke them too much? But Tomorrow's still a long way off. We can't even imagine what strategy she might use. Genji-san should take action first. If we can at least steal the gun under some pretext, it might work out. There are 4 or 5 cartridges, are there not? That means there aren't enough to kill all of us. As long as we don't carelessly provoke her, surely even Rosa-san won't be that rash. Is this canon? No, she said it. She said she'll massacre all of us.
Yep.
Yeah, Kanon, the thought was sleeping quietly, suddenly started talking brightly. Almost as though he'd been awake this whole time, and had suddenly opened his mouth. Kanon looked firm and steady, which relieved Nanjo a bit. Considering the depth of that wound, he couldn't wipe away a certain creepy feeling. He knew because he was a doctor. After losing so much blood, Kanon might easily have lost consciousness. Yet, somehow, he was still intensely aware of his surroundings. Was it youth? Or was it tenacity? Sometimes the power of human life surpassed common knowledge. While stopping the bleeding, Nanjo groped around a bit inside the bleeding hole with tweezers, making sure there was no foreign objects inside the affected area. The great depth of the wound had shocked him. It had certainly reached as far as his lungs. No, but the fact that he's still alive is wonderful. But Kanon had spoken clearly. It hatefully stated that the one named Rosa made this wound, cursing and raging, over and over and over. Oh! Have you noticed? There's a difference in Kanon's sprite. I don't know if you noticed. She wants to kill everyone by any means necessary before the typhoon passes, so that she can have the Master's wealth all to herself. She told me that clearly. Dang! Drats! Yeah, Goda's more of a drats kind of guy. What a person! Genji-san, what should we do? Are there any weapons we can...
I find it hard to believe. To think that Rosa-sama would say something like that.
Genji-sama? Oh, this isn't Goda. It isn't a question of whether you believe or not. She told me. I heard it. Why won't you believe in me? Don't get up. You'll harm your wound. Kanon sat up on the bed, speaking to Genji, who didn't seem to be willing to believe Kanon's story. She'll definitely kill all of us. She must have killed everyone in the parlor by now. If we don't kill her first, we'll definitely be killed first. Just like how I was killed first. Everyone else will also be killed first. Kill her, be killed. Kill her, be killed, or kill her, be killed. Kanon-san, does that really not hurt? All this? This is nothing. It's really a flesh wound. What do you mean it's nothing? It really isn't a big deal. It doesn't even hurt anymore. It's really nothing. So maybe Kanon's actually just a zombie. Have you thought about that theory at all?
Keep reading.
As Kanon said that, he began to untie the bandage instead of in painstakingly wrapped. The gruesome hole in his chest was immediately exposed. Kanon-san! You mustn't do that. Lie down, quickly. Well, that's probably Nanjo, actually. Said it's fine. Hey, see? This is nothing, right? Kanon showed off his gaping wound, which was still slowly spitting out foamy blood. Everyone averted their eyes reflexively. Look, Tony wasn't a serious wound at all. Stop. You mustn't play with the wound. Come on, see? It isn't a deep wound at all. He just keeps stretching it out until it just consumes him, and he is the gaping wound. There's a cartoon where this guy and I forget which one it was. They go inside his belly button. He's inside his own belly button. And I hated that episode. Look. Sorry, I'll stop rambling. Kanon held up 2 fingers, showed them to everyone, and slowly started to stick them into the gruesome wound right in the center of his chest. Are you looking up what show that was?
No.
Plunging, slimy, squishy wet. The fingers, one in deep, all the way to their bases. I thought I heard you typing, so. Squish, gloop, gloop, bloop. Kanon's on! Stop it! Stop it! Those fingers were sticking all the way into his chest, up to their bases. Then he slowly pulled them out in exactly the same way. The fingers he pulled out were stained a sticky, solid, deep red color. There's even a thread hanging. The fingers were covered, up to their bases, in deep red. You... What in the world? See? It is not a serious wound at all, see? At that moment, the door slammed open and Shannon appeared. Even after she saw Kanon, stained with fresh blood, her impregnable expression didn't falter. Hey, Nathan, where'd you go? On the verge of death here, so where'd you go?
That's right. I went to the boiler room. There was something I had to find. More importantly, there's something I need to ask you. Are you really Kanon-kun?
Huh? What? It was only natural. Everyone believed he was Kanon, so they couldn't understand the meaning of Shannon's question. When they looked, they noticed that Shannon was holding a handkerchief in her hand. It was felty and looked like it had been used to wipe up some trash or dust. While holding that, she approached Kanon, drawing closer to his feet. Oh, that's what it was! What is that?
What? It's a handkerchief with a spider's web wiped onto it.
I think this was mentioned in episode 1. Beatrice's weakness is spider webs.
Right.
Why would he bring something like that?
If you're Kanon-kun, you should be fine. But if spiders are your natural enemy, I thought you might not like it.
Are you kidding? Why would I hate spiders?
Sorry, I'll try it.
You just proved you're not a human, Kanon. Everyone hates spiders. Trick question. Shannon's on.
$10,000.
Shannon brought the handkerchief close to Kanon's thigh. Something happened in an instant. It happened all at once. The human eye couldn't have followed it. Kanon jumped like a wild goat, fleeing from the thing Shannon was holding. What? Like a wild goat? Or...
Interesting. Goat.
Where have we heard goat before? I can't remember. Then from his arms, some kind of afterglow flashed purple and drew a curve through space. That arc, which drew the 3 beautiful purple curves, traced across the throats of Nanjo and Kumasawa, who'd been tending to him. In an instant, Nanjo and Kumasawa's throats opened like gaping mouths, and the blood really started spewing out. The 3rd purple curve should have traced across Shannon's throat, but Shannon wasn't there. Because Genji, went behind her, wrapped his own arm around Shannon's neck and pulled her back. This all happened in an instant. In an instant, it took Goda to think fast and attempt to understand the scene. The frozen moment in time shattered. Blood was gushing from Nanjo and Kumasawa's torn open necks. Kanon jumped up and kicked off a picture frame that had been hanging from the wall behind him, springing forward like a cat and aiming for Shannon's throat again. The Kanon's target once again disappeared from in front of him. As Genji had pulled Shannon again, the 2 of them had fallen to the ground in a defensive crouch. Nice reflexes, you senile old furniture.
Goda.
Oh, ooh. Even Goda was no fool. Even if he couldn't fully understand what was going on, he at least realized that if this cannon wasn't seized, his own life would also be in peril. He sprung at Kanon with his huge body, pushing him up against the wall with all of his weight and physical strength. Oh! Whoa! Let go! How do I make that G-rated? Quick! Throw something at me! What do I say?
Big bones!
Big bones! There you go, good job. Quick thinking. Another purple curve was drawn from the tips of his fingers on Kanon's right hand. When he raised that hand like a sword, aiming for Goda's back, there's a loud thunk. Because Kanon's raised hand had been pinned to the wall. He couldn't tear his palm away from the wall. Sticking out from it, was the knife Genji had thrown. Genji's actually a ninja. He likes to play Overwatch. Under normal circumstances, would have been surprising to see someone as old as Genji handle a knife so skillfully. When I first started playing Overwatch, I was like, Genji? They put him in this game? And every time I saw Genji, I just imagined it was Genji in the ninja outfit. But in this abnormal space, no one paid it much mind.
Genji-sama, take this. Indeed.
Genji took the handkerchief with the spider web stuck to it from Shannon, and he approached Kanon, was pinned to the wall by Gota's massive body and the knife. Stop it! Keep that away from me! Stop it! Stop! Yow! When Genji pushed the handkerchief up against Kanon's face, there was a sound just like setting meat on a red hot iron plate. Of course, the smell was the same too. As he was horribly burned, festering in filthy red and black, and crying out in his death throes. Death throes, right? You can't say that's like throwies, right? Right?
Yeah, it's throws.
Okay. Kanon's body burst open and scattered. Because there's a lot of words I only have read before, so there's always that awkward, I don't know how to actually say it. You know what I mean? No, you probably don't. It was almost as though a balloon filled with gold leaf had popped. The entire servant room was completely buried under a storm of gold leaf. No, a cloud of gold butterflies. Those butterflies began to softly fade, still into water, or rather into the empty air itself. And afterwards, all that was left was the 3 survivors sitting on their butts, stained with blood. However, not everyone was merely stained with blood. Some of them were lying on the ground, spurting out blood themselves. Kumasawa! Dr. Nanjo! Who said that? Slit so sharp they looked like they'd cut your finger if you touched them open wide. Large amounts of blood kept pouring out. What was that? Just now.
Gota, have you been injured?
I am fine. But what did we just see? What happened? I know I pushed that thing against the wall with my own hand, but even I cannot understand what happened. Gota looked at his own hand. The bright red blood left from his scuffle with Kanon definitely remained. Yet Kanon was nowhere to be seen, because he had disappeared. It transformed into gold butterflies and scattered. Gota kept screaming alone, without a clue about what was going on. Oh, I heard the sound. Nanjo and Kumasawa are officially dead. Although Battler hasn't seen them yet, so take that at your own leisure. Kumasawa died in the servant room, her throat sliced open by a sharp blade or something similar. The finishing touches are yet to come. Nanjo, however, this alone isn't enough. So we're not finished here yet, apparently. And that means we're down to 8 people on the island. Or 7 plus 1 if you want to count Kinzo. Or 7 plus 2 if you want to count Beatrice. Anyway, Trinity sobbed in front of Nanjo and Kumasawa's remains, as Genji watched over her, silent as always. Metal World or end of episode? End of episode. So, what did you think? So tell me this, are you suspicious of Kanon at all?
I'm not sure.
Oh man, you can't say that.
I don't know. I'm not. But I'm not.
So really there's 2 parties to be suspicious of there. Either Kanon, who somehow got around the red saying he was killed, or the 3 people who survived seeing that. Also, is this Dead Angle playing? Yes it is. Love the song. So the 3 survivors would be Shannon, Gota, and Genji. Possibly Kumasawa and Nanjo, since we haven't seen their deaths. But you have very good reason to suspect one of those 2 parties. Also, do you not love this song? This is the best song. Have anything to say about it?
It's gonna be really interesting when I find out it was just Genji the whole time.
I mean, this does support the Genji theory, but also Shannon and Goro were there. Although we haven't heard their testimony yet, so... Because... Do you think that scene actually played out how it did in the real world?
Oh, 100%.
It did?
No.
Oh, okay. So, we have to rely on their testimony. There could be discrepancies there, or there could not be, but...
Testimony, discrepancies. I played a game for this.
Ace Attorney?
Mm-hmm.
I love this song! Anyway, so... What was it? I lost my thought, because this song is so good! So, because if you don't believe that, you know, Kanon grew a magic blade and killed Kumasawa and Nanjo with it, that means that that scene didn't just happen, and what those three witnessed is something else. So that'll be next time when we hear about it. Any theories before we wrap it up?
Nothing.
Anything you've thought about? Nothing? Okay, guys, it's been Umineko. That's the 4th and 5th Twilight done. We'll be back next time with what happens next? We investigate that and maybe something a bit more. We'll see you then. I'll see you guys next time with some more Umineko no Naku Koryo ni. See you guys then. Bye.
Bye.